Alright guys, so here I am putting together a little 5-minute warm-up for you guys before you get on your motorcycle. So this was filmed right before I started the 2018 Gobbler Getter National Enduro this past, actually earlier this month, so we're doing this in November. So you can kind of see here what I'm doing is what's called Passthroughs. So getting a PVC pipe, getting a broom, anything with a long handle. You want to stretch your arms out kind of where you can fit it into your hip crease and push it back so you can do a windmill. So from the front of your hips to the backs of your hips, whatever is comfortable, and you want to slowly move your arms in as you are, as you're slowly going. There you go. There's a good look at a windmill right there. And the pass through, so that way you want to go for, move it from one side to the other. And as I get more warmed up with my windmills and my pass-throughs, I actually do quite a few overhead squats. I do this over air squats just because I like the pressure and the stretch that I get in the shoulders because of all the shoulder injuries. Now here is what you call plant the flag. It's a really good way to warm up your lats. So push it in the middle, push your head down and your chest down through, and keep your hands kind of in that comfortable position. You can see I've got quite a good amount of mobility in this position. I go left and right like that to kind of give the left side and the right some specific stretching. Now if we go with this, is a good stretch for opening up the rotator cuff muscle. The activity that you see me doing as I'm holding this stretch with the PVC pipe is actually just to kind of deepen it a little bit. So the best type of way to warm up is an active mobility, not static mobility, so not static stretching. So I like to kind of move my body in different positions as I'm holding a little bit more of a static stretch. If you want to look this one up, this is kind of referred to as the back scratcher. You'll see me doing the little circles here, and that's again just to kind of take that shoulder and move it into kind of small little tiny positions to go into the other side. What's nice too is you can actually work that through some knots in the top of your shoulder, the top of your shoulder blades as well. So you can kind of work some trigger points at the top of your shoulders with the PVC pipe as you're doing this, but then also stretch out that shoulder. These are great for mine. I've had a lot of shoulder injuries and I just love them. I feel like they really warm it up. This is just kind of a chance to say, hey, how warm are my shoulders? All right, they're feeling good, they're feeling good. Now some good mornings. Good mornings are great to start when you're starting to work towards the lower body a little bit. So you want to keep your feet hip distance apart. You don't want to lock out your knees. You want to have them just barely unlocked, and you want to hinge at the hips. So you're sending the hips back and not bending at the knees. And you're going to stretch out your quads and kind of your butt, if you will, and then also your lower back. You can do this weighted and it actually will help a lot more, but it's a smart to start things off, just with the PVC. Now here, start moving into the lower body for sure is where you're going to do the low lunge. Add in a little bit of yoga in there as you kind of stretch up to the top, but the low lunge there is to get the hip flexors really kind of starting to open up. Now moving into the Samson. The idea here is to push the hips forward, not arch the back too much. You don't want to have that much arch in the back. And then you want to get down there so you can open up those quads. This three-way hip stretch is a great way to do. Now this is obviously all on the left side. So now as we get done with the left side, you move over to the right side. Again, go into that low lunge. If you've got the mobility for it, you want to reach up and kind of like pull that yoga thing. There you go. You can see it happening right there. And it's just a good way to get some rotation there and start to get a bunch of active mobility in the sense that we're hitting a lot more muscle groups at one time. Again, into the Samson, so you kind of push those hips out and make sure you do not arch the back. I'm kind of moving around to make sure that I hit all the different muscle groups, and then going into the quads and getting those guys. It also does help with the calves a little bit too. So those are some really good movements there, and we'll talk about something else in a second. Now what I just showed you guys is a great way to really start to get warmed up. So this is the chance now to really start to get your glisten on. And this is when you start to sweat a little bit and you want to do some jumping jacks, do some burpees, some toy soldiers, really create full body movement. You don't just want to go out there and have warmed up a couple things here or there. Don't forget about your forearms. In my case, I have a lot of ankle stiffness. I have a lot of shoulder stiffness. So those are things that I really try to focus on. Maybe doing some IYTs with some weights for the shoulders to help with those kinds of things. Some specific calf stretches for the ankles. So if you have ailments, pay attention to those. Google some mobility ways to open up those areas, and that way it'll help you be a much more warmed up rider, which is a better way to ward off injuries in the long run if you're that much more warm when you start going riding, and you're going to enjoy the first 5-10 minutes a lot more. This is not supposed to be an exhaustive way to warm up. This is what I have been doing for a while now to get warmed up. I would like to know what you guys do, so please put your comments below, send links to other types of warm-ups that you've seen. I think that this is a good conversation to have, and that other people can come to this video, see what I've put out there, but then go to the comments below and have a chance to see what everybody else has put out there. I'm by no means a trainer. I'm not trained in this. This is just what I've done throughout the years, so please take it with a grain of salt. If you have questions, ask them. If you want to know more, I'll have some links in the descriptions to some of the things that I was talking about. But remember, if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Would love it if you guys would subscribe for more Seat Time videos here in the near future. If nothing else, remember to always enjoy a pint full of awesome, and we'll see you on the internet.